Happy today. I am William Brown from IamWilliamBrown.com. This is Morning Reflections. Happy today, Morning Reflections. I was so proud of myself, right? I was ready. I was sitting here. I'm just ready to go. And guess what I just realized? I just realized that my U cards are behind me, are in front of me. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I think the lesson in that moment was whatever you need is just within reach, right? Happy today to you. Whatever you need is in just. Just is in reach. Yeah. All right. So the I am card is I am curious. I am curious. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you is the quote card. I picked the quote card out of order just so I could pick a different quote card. Oh boy. So, and you are enough. You are enough. So, I am curious. You are enough. And before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Jeremiah 1:5. The word for today on One More Conversation is generous. Generous. I'm excited. One is I have a returning guest. I have a returning guest that she was with me at the beginning of the month, at the beginning of last month. So it's like the beginning of this month too. So it's like almost 30 days ago. Almost 30 days ago to the date um, she came back. So I'm excited. I'm really, I'm really excited about that. So, um, yeah. So that is the word. I have a couple interviews today. I've been doing a number of uh, podcast interviews and conversations, and they've been great. So share those on my page and throughout, and just kind of go from there. Um, so I have one. I have to send back some information, so I can do one, and then I have two today. I have two today that I can record, after. Um, yeah, I this week on one of our conversations is going to, as I said on our view conversation yesterday, it's kind of loosey goosey. It's kind of there is a couple. I have a couple of rebroadcasts, so I am going to put something out, a weekly thing out today, just so it gives people an idea of what's happening this week. So yeah, so I usually get that out on Friday, but I'm going to get it out today on Monday. And you know what? And there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes our life needs to be a little more loosey goosey, as they say. I am curious. Um, so I didn't make a reach out uh, of a couple of people that I want to spotlight. And it's still, even though my spotlight conversation last week was amazing um, with Julia, and at the end, she encouraged me to just invite people and give them the space to say no. There's still this level of, like, how do you talk to someone about their cancer journey and if they want to share it. Now, if you can hear, I have different music today, so I'm just kind of being with that. Um, so, who woke up today? Um, the I've been threatening. There's a couple people behind the scenes that have gotten their copy of the Happy Today workbook. But if you want your copy right now, if you're one of the people that want a digital copy of a workbook, just um, yeah, let me know. I'll do that. Um, I may change the title from a workbook journal um, to basically a workbook journal, if that makes sense. So instead of just a workbook, it's a journal also. So I will add some pages to it so we can give you a journal within that. So I'll get you some journal pages in there. So it's not just, so give you an opportunity to design and then give you an opportunity to journal. So it's a workbook journal. Um, so yeah, so we'll see how I'll do that. So I can create that. So Happy Today workbook journal. There is something that I've had and that I'm going to be doing in this time that I want you to kind of be looking out for. I may announce that. Um, yeah, I'll announce that this week. I'm announcing it now, and then I'm announcing this week. I have a book, Wake Up to the Joy of You. Agape is her first name. I met her 3 years ago, almost 3 years ago. Her last name, I am not going to butcher. I am not going to butcher because I have no idea how to pronounce it. But here's a meditation, 52 meditations and practices for a calmer, happier life. I'm going to be introducing that. I'm going to have 30 days of that um, challenge coming up at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to be trying a couple of them and just kind of go from there. So I'm excited about that. So I will be announcing that. Um, so I will start be doing some guided meditations. I may, how I'm thinking that it's going to run is that I will do the recorded guided meditations um, and then put the audio in the group. So yeah, so we'll do that. So we'll do the guided meditations that way. I may do them live. I may do some live, a couple live, but most of the time I'll do it recorded um, because that's how I roll while I'm figuring it out, while I'm playing through the suck. I am curious. You are enough in the before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Is the cards that I pulled for today. Who woke up today is there is a resolve. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. there's a resolve about today, resolve about the doing that I have to do today. Um, there are a number of things that I got done this weekend that it was on the list and it's done. Great, wonderful. Um, and there's still a number of things to do. Um, so, yeah. Um, yeah. So I want to, um, yeah, just do that. So, yeah, so I'm excited about that. Um, yeah, so I'm resolved to do um, what today has me to do. That's what. That's who woke up today. Um, yeah, how can I be curious about today um, and embrace that I'm enough, right? Yeah, I am. I'm like looking forward to the healing conversations that I have. I don't know if I'm going to have a solopreneur conversation this week, um, but one because I didn't invite anybody right for that. So um, it's really the one thing that I I definitely have realized that it's not even people pleasing. It's a consideration. There's a level of consideration that I have for people and their time and their how they show up. There's a project that I was working on the last couple of days that I was, in many cases, overwhelmed with um, the people who have, um, raised their hand and said yes to uh, to these conversations. Um, so yeah, I'm just really excited about that. I'm just excited about sharing that and just kind of looking back and seeing um, that. So yeah, so who woke up today? Ask yourself that question. And can you embrace that you are curious, that you are enough, and that there is a you before the foundations of this world and before you were in your mother's womb? There was that you. There's awareness of that person, essence, experience that allowed you to be in this form. There is something that I've been sitting with for a couple days after my conversation on vision on Saturday. Um, it is don't let what you envision get in the way of your vision. What you envision. Don't let what you envision get in the way of your vision. Um, that that sat with me, um, or is still sitting with me, because I feel that when I close my eyes and see something that I want to bring in the world, something that I want to feel like I need to do, how I need to be, I believe um, that sometimes it shows up differently than I see it. then judgment comes in, right? Then judgment comes in and all that other kind of stuff. So don't let what you envision get in the way of your vision. Maybe you can sit with that with me. There's also something that came up in the conversation yesterday that it was a download that um, we were recreating the wheel, that saying. And what I got was, don't recreate the wheel, but in difficult situation or opportunity situation, I'll embrace reimagining your will, your WILL. Reimagine your will. Because sometimes, for myself, I feel that I don't have the will to get through something, right? But if I reimagine it, I just realized that I have my working glasses on instead of my video glasses. So there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. It feels like my working glasses. You see more of my glasses than less of my eyes. My video glasses allow you to see my eyes. So that's funny. Vanity, vanity, right? So, there's so many times that I feel that I have no vanity, and then vanity shows up. Right? Oh, fun, so fun. So, yeah, I'm curious to see what's showing up for you this morning, if there's anything showing up for you. The wonderful thing about this time of reflection in the morning is that I have been hearing lately, recently, that there's a number of people that watch this show and don't comment, and so I don't know if they just listen, and so while they're walking or while they're doing anything, so they're not in a position to comment. But sometimes we just don't know. We just don't know who's watching, who's finding inspiration, who is growing and looking from us. So it's my desire to be an influence, just to be an influence. If if by this moment that I share with you, um, you are able to embrace your life, your today. I don't want to say that's all I want, because there's so much more. There's so much more. There's so much more that I want for you, that I would love for you to get out of your today's, your moments. So I introduced earlier, for if you weren't on earlier, that I will start using Agape's Wake Up to the Joy of You book. I will share the book, a link to the book in the Happy Today group. If you want to be a part of the Happy Today group, just put in the comments that I would love to be a part of the group. Because within the group, you'll have a workbook journal. So for those of you who just have the workbook, I will be making some updates, and so there will be a journal associated with it, a workbook journal. The workbook will give you some time to to actually um, what's it called? To actually design your day, right? Design your day. Give you some work to do that, so you can design a week, design whatever. Kind of look at how you want to do it. It's like that's the one thing that I feel that I'm putting these resources together, but then I want you to use them however you feel that you can use them. I am not committed or as I say, I'm not married to. Um, you have to do it one. You have to do it one way. I think the more that we're able to design our own life, have a say in our own life, the more that we're able to do that. So, um, so yeah. So I'll give you the workbook journal, and um, yeah, we'll go from there. I'll be sharing a lot of other insights and some other books that I have that I invite you um, to use as a resource to have you have a happy today. Um, yeah, the word of today is generous on one word conversation. So, where can generous show up in your life today? Can be generous. Sometimes when I would say, "Oh, I'm too generous with my time," it's not being generous. It's being wasteful, right? Um, there are so many times that I will clean it up to make it feel like I um, I don't have to take accountability or anything for it. So, but yeah. So how can I be generous today? How can I be generous with my time, but also protect my time? How can I take on, or you? How can we, right? How can we take on being curious, embracing that we are enough, embracing that there is a you before all this. The fascinating thing that I do that I just became aware of that the reason why I have um, the card in I used the quote of Dr. Seuss, "There's no one newer than you." The reason why I use that, good morning. Um, the reason why I use the "There's no one newer than you" quote um, is to kind of the person who doesn't see this self-discovery journey um, as a spiritual journey. But then at the same time, the counter to that is the spiritual journey, which the card that I picked today is "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you." It is the same thing. I don't know Dr. Seuss's faith or spiritual journey, but that is, for me, the revelation of the "you" than you. Um, it's the same thing. So our journey is not just the recognition that we are um, there's a you before all of this. It is that there is a purpose within that. And the more that we're curious about that you, the more that we will come to the understanding that we are enough. So I am enough. You are enough, right? And I am curious. And before I formed you in the womb, I knew you are the cards that I picked for today. So, um, so yeah, Melissa. So the replay will be available to you. Um, There, I'm trying to catch you up before I end for today. So, so as this day continues, it is my prayer that we are curious about our life, about today, about how we show up within our day, that we discover that we are enough, and that we look for ways that enough can show up in our doing today. And that there is a recognition that before you, we were formed in our mother's womb, the divine God knew us, was in relationship with us, gave us the imprint of us, and we are a unique expression of God, of the divine. So we can be generous. That's the word today on One Word Conversations at 11 a.m. Generous. I will be introducing, um, maybe I'll try some things tomorrow, but I will be introducing this meditation book. I'll share it within the group. Wake Up to the Joy of You by Agape. I don't know her last name. I will put her name within. I'll put the link to this book so you can have it. But there is some guided meditations that I'll be doing. I'll be using to get started, and then once I get used of using her meditations and those meditations, and then I will be creating my own. So yeah. As I acknowledge the disappointments and the fears of my past, and acknowledge the hope and the anxiety of my future, it is my prayer, that I become present to get the answers, to get the knowing of our happy today. Blessings, my friend. I'll see you soon.